need to look at how your country is branded. I mean, look at Hollywood, look at the movies, look at the American flag. I'm going to just say for the record, the American flag is one of my most favorite icons of all time. Like, it's just, you look at the stripes. Like, I'm into a little bit of astrology, not in a woo-woo way, but they were saying like 33 is one of the most powerful numbers.
AI is amazing for so many things. I mean, look, I think AI is so good because it puts hours back in our life. It gives us so much more free time because it automates so many things now. It's so easy to prompt AI. Like I use ChatGPT, almost every day. I mean, I literally, so I did this test. So I don't know if you ever heard of Brian Johnson before, but
No,
he is the most measured man in the world. So Brian Johnson, he has been testing his body. He sold Venmo a couple of years ago.
I know who that is. I know who you're talking about. Now I
Perfect.
know.
So this dude's badass. He's literally reversing his age. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm very intrigued by that because I've always been into health. I've always cared. Yeah, exactly. I've always cared about my health. And so I started following this guy and so he made a recommendation like, hey, go get all these tests done. So I got, I don't know, 128 or 142 biomarkers tested in my body, like 50 different types of cancers I got tested for. I'm freaking badass, man. I mean, I am like so rock solid right now. It's unbelievable. My blood came back so good. Thank God. I mean, but again, I knew it was going to probably come back pretty good because I had, I've been working on myself for a long, long time, and I've been drinking a lot of greens. I drink a lot of whatever. But what was cool is they gave you recommendations of things to eat. So there was like 14 out of the 142, there were 14 biomarkers that were a little bit not 100% for me. So, this was a little bit high, this was a little bit low, this was a little bit out of, whack or whatever. So then what it did is it gave this like million-page report on telling me how to fix everything. So I copied that report, I stuck it into ChatGPT, and I said, tell me, build me a grocery list based on this report, make me a grocery list. And then also tell me, categorize it in the areas of the grocery store. So that way, when I'm shopping, I can just go into that section and all these things are in the section. 3.7 seconds later, I have this amazing list with the things that I should be eating, the things that I shouldn't be eating. And it saved me hours of having to read that giant report. These are the type of things. I mean, look, I'm doing a world trip for Asia, and I'm going to be going to a couple months. I'm going to be going to Japan and Bali, and I'm like leaving for a month. I'm going to Vietnam and all these different places. I just punched it in a ChatGPT. It gave me everything. It gave me the weather every day for every day that I'm going to be there, with every country, every location, what hotels to stay in, what flights to take. I mean, it was unbelievable. This is the power of AI.
And I'm going to say I love the organization and how you do things. I feel like I'm very OCD with like just that stuff. So I love that. But the other thing is, I think you said it perfectly. It doesn't matter if you're a personal trainer or whatever it is, like use it in your business, use it when building your brand, use it when building your company, because I think it can only enhance it, but it is how you think. And it's interesting because I've been doing a lot of posts lately on what is called divergent branding. So going against the grain and thinking differently and thinking like there is no box, basically. And those are the brands that get attention. I mean, I don't want to get political, but look at Donald Trump, right? Like, and look at look at the way people market themselves. Like, those are the brands that really stand out, that are doing things differently, that are a little bit polarizing. It's like, why do people click on Instagram reels? Because they word it differently. They word it in a polarized form. So AI, I think, is great.
Yeah, I think that you look at like a Donald Trump, I think a lot of people resonate with Donald Trump because, I mean, he's kind of humanized now,
I was just about to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know you talk about it, and I want you to talk more about it. about, kind of humanizing branding and, what that means. But I think like him being indicted with all these things and being sent to court and then they get shot. I mean, you got to imagine, I mean, the guy almost got assassinated. And then at the same time, you see a guy that like is getting emotional and he's on camera and he's kind of emotional going, I can't believe these people are doing this to me. And look, this is.
He loves, I do believe, like, I mean, the one thing I will say, not just with him, but you guys love your country. Like, I love America because you guys love America. Like, I've always loved America and the people, because I think it's the same. I think America in itself is a brand, to be honest. And you just need to look at your own country. Like, you need to look at how your country is branded. I mean, look at Hollywood, look at the movies, look at the American flag. I'm going to just say for the record, the American flag is one of my most favorite icons of all time. Like, it's just, you look at the stripes. Like, I'm into a little bit of astrology, not in a woo-woo way, but they were saying like 33 is one of the most powerful numbers. And, you look at all the stripes on the flag and the stars, like, things are very iconic to do with America. And when it comes to your brand, it's the same thing. Like, when you talk about humanizing a brand, it's bringing out those emotions, those feelings, like when you're putting out a piece of content, when you're putting out a logo. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm working with my dad at the moment, right? And he's in insolvency. And he was laughing at me because I said to him, Dad, like, you got to, content's where it's at now. And we were sitting in my office and I'm filming him and I'm like, do it again, like, make it humanized. Like, I want to hear stories about insolvency versus playing golf, and we're trying to tell stories and bring it in. Like, people want emotion. They want to identify with you as a person. So I think it doesn't matter what you're doing in terms of your brand. Just ask yourself, how is it making people feel? Back in award school, we used to do these crazy exercises we would get a brief on a Monday night. It was due on the Wednesday, and I'm not a drinker, but like, I really got into like my red wine during that whole thing. I actually come from a bodybuilding background, like bikini. So I rarely drink, but back then I was like, this is hurting my brain. Like, the briefs are so crazy. And they would give us briefs like eco-friendly washing powder, and the proposition would be, it's better for you. And you'd have to come up with these crazy ideas on how to make it interesting and how to humanize it and how to connect with people, because that's what advertising is all about. That's what branding is all about. So going back to it, I mean, you only need to look at the most iconic brands of all time, like even Michael Jordan, Air Jordan. People connect with the brand because of his life story, about who he was as a personal brand, about taking things to the next level. And look how iconic that brand, that was a personal brand. That was one of the first personal brands of all time. But they humanized the experience. They humanized him as a person. I mean, they weren't allowed to wear colored shoes on the basketball court. They went through that whole process where they just paid the fine to stand out. Again, going back to divergent branding, right? So there's always this humanizing part of it where people, if you look very carefully, you're going to see a lot of divergent brands pop up, but they really are humanizing things, because the thing is, the world is a crazy place at the moment. And that's why people are connecting with them. You spoke about politics before. They're crazy ads. You only need to look online to see the different political ads. Like, I saw one with Barack Obama, which I'll send you after this, but I was just like, whoa. Like, I can't even believe the stuff that's going on. Andrew Tate, remember what happened with him? So again, another divergent brand. Those are the brands that are standing out. Those are the humanized brands.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.